So this should be a very interesting second session between these two players. Jack Lisowski led 5-2. Stuart Bingham would have been delighted to win the last 2 frames of the session. Certainly not the break-off Stuart Bingham was after.
Just hold on for a second, please. Just hold on. Don't move. Stop moving. Okay. 1.
Well, considering the amount of disturbance in the crowd, Jack Lisowski just slotted that red in.
Six. Seven.
Both players made a century break. Be a little bit disappointed with that shot.
14.
Now not automatic position in the black, so screw off the cushion with a bit of right hand side. Take the cue ball up the table. Beautifully
15.
played. He did strike the cue ball incredibly well, Jack Lisowski.
Very nicely judged.
20.
And also didn't get that red blocking the black as well. Straight into his stride here. Obviously Stuart Bingham's opening break-off was weak.
$28. 29. 36. 37. 44.
Just has to force this a little bit, so makes it missable. The harder you have to hit these.
45.
Just roll off the cushion for the red that's near the pink spot to the right corner. It'd be nice to be high on this red. We'll bring other reds into play, but he's always got the red that's to the left of the pink.
52.
Excellent visit to the table so far. Looks very focused.
53.
That was critical, keeping so close to the pink. Means he has to be perfect on it. An advantage to be able to play right left-handed for a second there. I thought he was going to be playing that right-handed. Looking to see if he can play this right-handed now.
59.
He's been threatening to be a top-class player for many years. I think it's finally coming to fruition for him. We tried to disturb reds here, and I think he's got a bit unlucky. It's a positive way to play the shot. Just stuck on that red. So he's not over the line unless he can get past the get this pink in. Just about. Oh. Well, his body language looked like he was upset with the shot, as if he'd snookered himself. One of the lights had gone on the table. Don't think I've ever seen that before.
Many snooker players it take to change a light bulb.
It's a tough one. 128. Too sure what they can do now. It's going to be a bit of an operation to...
Okay.
I mean, it's still pretty bright out there, but I suppose you have to ask both the players if they're happy.
The table looks the same, but it's whether there's shadows.
It might be a bit dull down the bottom end, perhaps from the bottom part of the table it may look different. There's the light out.
I mean, how do you step ladders on the table?
Oh, well, it's an operation to get yeah, it's going to be a massive job to get this changed. The problem is that there's another match going on the other table. It's a nightmare.
I mean, it doesn't look too bad. It doesn't look much different to me, but whether at table level the players see any difference.
I mean, obviously Mike is dealing with it at the moment. I don't know if it's as easy as a switch or whatever, but let's see what they say.
Anyone got 10p for the meter?
Well,
tough
everyone's
situation.
thinking about the lights, but possibly Jack Lisowski still thinking about that pink he missed.
Yeah. Tough on the other table as well to concentrate. They'll know something's up.
Did he try and play it with a little bit of side? As you say, Steve, his reactions, his body language was like he wasn't on the pink in the beginning.
Anything that can be done, or? Yeah. Yeah, Stuart would rather wait. I mean, but if it takes long, then it doesn't really seem to affect the
Martin
table.
Clark, the tournament directors.
If it's in their heads. Yeah.
I think they should ask both
Just
players.
be
if
aware
they're
they're
happy.
playing on the other table, so keep the noise down, thank you.
I think they should ask both players if both players are happy to play on, then play on until the interval somehow.
Yeah, you want them to come out? Okay.
But it's going to be a bit of an operation to get this changed, I'm sure,
Martin
with another
suggests
match going
that
on.
They're going to look at it now, but then you might as well come out because they have to get a ladder up to do something. Or do you want to finish the frame? Or okay, let's finish this frame and then we'll come out.
Well, I mean, if you're going to finish this frame, you may as well finish the 4 frames. If it's good enough to play now, it's good enough to play every frame as far as I'm concerned, but they're the guys that's down there. I mean, you've psyched yourself up, you've got yourself ready for playing tonight, and then the last thing you want to do is go out the arena. You want to get on with it.
One.
At least you've got rid of an excuse now whenever you miss a shot. See how it's a bit dark out there.
Doesn't seem much darker.
Eight.
Oh yeah, I see it now, I see it now. Yeah, if you look closely, you can just see little shadows. You can just see shadows on the balls. Possibly could be distracting.
$16. 17.
Good response so far from Stuart Bingham.
22. Stuart Bingham, 22.
So, second chance for Jack Lisowski. Already 38 points in front. Just control this positional shot. And she hasn't really done.
One.
Don't know whether he was playing for black or blue. There's a bit in the middle of both.
Yeah, and this black is missable.
Oh, beautiful shot. He could have felt good going down to that black where he'd left the cue
8.
ball.
And also he played positioned as well. Positive shot. Looks to be cueing very well. Always been a great cueist. Looks like he's matured as a player now.
16.
Yeah, I think Jack definitely will not want to leave the arena after this start.
16 and the
Stuart
frame.
Bingham concedes.
Jack
Jack
Lisowski.
Lisowski wins the first frame, leaving to go 6-4 ahead, but the players are leaving the arena so we can sort out the lights.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to try and fix the lighting problem on this table, so please keep the noise down for the other table. Thank you.
Okay, well, you've heard what's going on. We're going to be back with you when they fix the lights. How long is that going to be? Let's have a sweepstake. 30 minutes. What do you reckon? See you later.
Yeah, you got me? Got me.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's got him now.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Frame 11, Jack Lisowski to break.
So that wasn't as long a delay as we were fearing. What's happened, they've boosted the other lights, the wattage, to compensate for the one that's gone, I think. That's a technical term.
It doesn't look like that much brighter, but it's not terrible anyway. I'm sure the players are happy to get on with it.
One.
Nice shot. Couldn't control for the blue. It's not guaranteed, this green, but he should get it in.
4. Five.
The red had an open play, stopping Stuart playing to the bunch of reds off one cushion. That's the shot he would have played, and he will not be happy with that one. He's finished a good foot short.
9.
It's tough to pop this and get on a colour.
Yeah, the red's not far enough down the black end of the table to be able to screw the cue ball off the bunch. Don't know if I can just do that off the pink. Well, he's got away with it.
Stuart Bingham,
It
9.
was a strange old shot he played.
Yeah, playing it with left-hand side, trying to swing the white ball round. Very tough pot.
There's a very aggressive match between these two. They both like to pop balls, win frames in one visit. None of them really want to get involved in long safety duels. The World Championship that Stuart Bingham won, the final against Sean Murphy, is one of the best I've ever seen in terms of all-out attack in snooker. One poor safety followed by another one.
You'd have to fancy Jack Lisowski to knock this in. He can swing the cue ball round off a couple of cushions for the blue. Pink's available as well. Struck that very cleanly, didn't blast at it either. Well, as much as
Jack
the
Lisowski,
red was
1.
wonderful,
Stuart
pink
Bingham,
was
6.
horrendous. At first glance, he looks like he's nearly got away with it, but
Touching ball.
as long as Stuart Bingham can get his tip to the meat of the cue ball, I fancy him to knock this in.
One.
Yeah, I think Jack was desperate to get the pink into the open as well. He didn't have to play that shot. It was a very aggressive shot. I don't say for 1 minute it's a wrong shot, but
No. I think if he'd have stunned the pink in, he pots it, but he played it with sort of top spin. Sometimes it's a harder shot that way.
Seven. Eight. $14. 15. 20. 21. $22.
This sort of situation is meat and drink to a top snooker player. Just little stuns and screws around the pink spot.
28.
It's easier to break build around the pink even than the
29.
black, because you've got 4 pockets to play for.
$35. $36.
He's making the most of this unexpected chance he's been given. Both players look to be in excellent form amongst the balls in general.
43. $49.
Yeah, they don't waste any time. The average frame time for this match for 10 and a half frames is 16 minutes, which is pretty rapid.
$50. $56. $56 and a frame. Stuart Bingham.
So Stuart Bingham reduces his arrears to 1 frame again. 6-5, Jack Lisowski.
What did you say, Leo? We have no recall? Anything else happening? Anything else?
Yeah, we talked about if he stuns us in for one of the loose reds, he never misses his pink in a million years. But you look at the pink spot, it's all blocked up. If he pots the pink, it's going to be surrounded by 6 reds. So that's why he wants to get it in the open. That's why he wants to play this aggressive break building shot. But in the end, when you're thinking about other things, sometimes you forget about the pot. And in the end, he absolutely butchered it. And I've always said one of his weaknesses is his temperament, Jack Lisowski, so he's got to forget about that now. Get on with the next frame. In these long session matches of World Championship, you're going to make mistakes. Play bad shots. That's how you deal with it.
Stuart Bingham to break. As quiet as possible, please. Thank you. One.
Well, tonight so far, he's doing the difficult stuff brilliantly, and the straightforward stuff not so good. That was a fantastic shot and absolute plumb angle in the black. Playing the stun, possibly you could even play this with topspin almost into the bunch.
But not the screw. Surely not the screw. I mean, that's just, I won't say schoolboy error, but these days, so often we've seen on the television that type of shot never reaps rewards.
Now, particularly as the The cue
Jack
ball was so
Lisowski,
close to the
8.
black. As I said, you could almost play that with topspin.
Well, you could have, yeah, you'd have definitely got a result from the pack. Would have opened up nicely as well. The best you can hope for doing it that way is some type of fortunate leave into the left middle. You can probably knock this in now, win the frame.
Well, he'd be tempted by it. If there's no reds in the pack that go, it's the only red he can leave, should he miss it.
He's got an easy safety shot to the top cushion, but that's not the way he plays. Famous last words, nope. A little way off, but appears to have done no damage.
Or has he left the red to the left of the bunch into the left middle?
Yeah, just about.
I mean, it looked almost impossible to leave this red.
Yeah. Don't think he's left the red into the right middle. May have just... Jack Lisowski may just be able to see enough of it.
Foul. Miss. Jack Lisowski, 4.
He's left one through the gap, I think. Must be tight.
Back.
Obviously not.
No, that was from your previous shot. You went that way. Yeah, Jack? Switch that phone off, please.
Refused the temptation to take a red onto the far left corner. This is a sort of situation when this kind of safety drill goes on that whoever gets the first chance is normally a very good one because the reds are all over the table. And they're going to be even more open after this shot. Needs to get the cue ball back to the cushion. That's a pretty good effort. Pretty good effort, that.
Yeah, also this situation can sometimes be who dares walk the tightrope of playing a red into the middle pocket. Jack Lisowski's played a great shot there. He's nearly forced Stuart Bingham into something more adventurous than this. He's just get his cue to the bottom of the ball, but this red's coming back up the table and looks to have stuck it up, unless it bounces. Just.
Jack Lisowski's got the upper hand though in this exchange. He can play again to get this cue ball tight on the cushion.
Massive difference between getting it tight on a ball off the cushion. Very well worked out. Tell you what, whoever does get in is going to have an unusual break on their hands. There's a few reds blocking each other in pockets. Into the middle, left corner.
I'm trying to look for a decent safety shot. I can't see one. It's one of them cases when the safety's as difficult as a pot. Jack's forced into this red, I think, to the right middle. He doesn't like it, but I think he's going to have to take it on. Thing is, the longer you look at it, the more doubt creeps in. I think you've got to just make your mind up and commit yourself 100%.
It's a very tough pot. Arguably a 1 in 10. Played into the corner. What a shot this is. What a shot. Shot of the tournament so far, I suggest.
That was a ridiculous pot, it really was. Applauded by his opponent.
Six.
Well, as I mentioned before, whoever got the first chance, it was going to be a good one. You would think all Jack has to do is make sure he just keeps potting balls. You're bound to be on something. But he will not pot many better balls in his career than that one he just potted.
12.
Absolutely phenomenal pot. Never touched the sides.
13. $18.
When you start taking the baulk colours, as to some degree Jack Lisowski's forced to do, does mean you need to get more reds off the table to get over the winning line.
$23. 24.
Lisowski's average shot time for the match is
29.
17 seconds. He's a very speedy player, but he's not a rushed, hurried player.
30.
Very controlled around the table.
And if you just looked at his bridge hand and the way he cues and strikes the ball, it's very similar
30.
to Ronnie O'Sullivan. I could easily, although Ronnie O'Sullivan, it would be his left hand would be the bridge hand. It's
35.
very, very similar. Bridge, even the way the cue gets delivered in a downward direction, goes through the ball very smoothly.
Well, overscrewed that.
38.
I suppose arguably could have underscrewed it, but it's made this a lot more difficult. But you wouldn't have known it.
39.
Really does look very assured and comfortable on the table. And another player from the qualifiers who looks to be giving one of the top seeds a run for their money.
44. $45. 52. 53.
He's over the finishing line now. Which is just as handy as his first mistake has come now.
58. Jack Lisowski. 58.
Well, no century break. But barring snookers, Jack Lisowski restores a 2-frame lead.
One.
Nice pot in the blue to keep his faint hopes alive of winning this frame.
6. Thank you. Stuart Bingham. 6.
the right middle, and that will be the frame.
Eight. Nine. $16. $16.
Stuart
And the frame.
Bingham nods his head,
Jack Lisowski.
concedes. Jack Lisowski takes a 2-frame advantage, leads 7 frames to 5. And that frame will be remembered for, well, you'll be hard pushed to find a better pot than this in the next 2 weeks or so for this World Championship. This was a ridiculous pot from tight under the cushion. Steve and I thought he was possibly going to play to the right middle, but just casually stroked it to the far right corner. Absolutely incredible pot. And I was mentioning, it's a very similar technique to Ronnie O'Sullivan. You can see the downward trajectory of the cue. The bridge hand is very similar. The tip all the way back to the thumb and delivering the cue smoothly through. I think he has practiced quite a lot with Ronnie O'Sullivan, so possibly has picked up on some of his technique.
13. Jack Lisowski to break.
Last frame before the mid-session interval. Jack Lisowski would love to have a 3-frame advantage. Certainly give Stuart Bingham something to think about. Well, we can see how straight this shot is. This will take some cueing.
Couldn't have got much closer. Thought it was in for a second. It's a tough little shot for Jack Lisowski. He's got to get the extended rest out. And sometimes when you're punching this type of shot in, the red's still sort of sliding, it hasn't started rolling, it makes the pot slightly harder. But he wants to hit it pretty firmly to keep position on the black. He could just drop it in, but wants to get the cue ball out into open play a bit. Well, it hit a cushion very early there. Didn't think it was going to go in.
Now, how will he play this? Split into the bunch. Will he continue his using bottom of the cue ball?
He's a bit further away now, but
he's looking at the end red, the left hand red. He wants to hit that half ball with stun, take the cue ball off the side cushion. That was very old school, wasn't it?
yeah, it was, yeah.
8. Jack Lisowski, 8.
Yeah, I thought he'd be more aggressive going into the pack than that.
Well, certainly the way he attempted this pot was anything but old school. You have to be very accurate at that angle for them to go in at pace. Now Stuart Bingham, a shot to nothing to the far left corner.
One.
Nice shot. We're going to need a good one now. Blue into the middle. Top spin on right hand side in between green and brown. Baulk cushion right hand side. Cushion and into the bunch.
Stuart Bingham 1.
Not easy playing it with that side spin on.
Foul.
Well, that's ridiculous to play, to hit the black. It's so careless.
Stuart Bingham
But
7.
it's such a negative shot. Just to roll off the cushion into the bunch.
Touching ball.
I think he's just scared of the fact that he's going to hit
Foul.
the shot pretty thick, and he was worried about pushing balls towards the right corner.
I could never play that shot. As long as I live that roll up into the pack, you have to play the positive shot. It's almost that he's such an aggressive player, and to play such a negative shot it's a bit strange.
Yeah, but I think he's just worried about how the balls are going to split. From the side cushion, it was quite perhaps a strange one.
Okay, Jack, thank you.
I mean, in a way, like, you know, he plays the thick safety, doesn't necessarily get an
Foul.
advantage from
And a
it.
miss.
At least he's contained the situation.
Stuart Bingham 4. Yeah.
Not even if he gets the cue ball tight in the baulk cushion. Puts the reds into the... splits the reds up. Attacking safety, have you ever heard of one of them?
He's a tough shot to get. Tough shot to get it on the cushion. Anyway.
You're not going to leave it, are you?
No, well, I don't know. I'm just
Yeah, Stuart. Thank you.
thinking that he just contained the situation, as he's continuing to do. He hasn't lost a frame out of it yet.
You're the king of containment, Steve.
I think it's nice to have a few strings to your bow, and Jack Lisowski obviously is an attacking player when needed. We'll have to go on the practice table and play that shot. Play it 10 times, prove it scientifically. You'll go for this one, round the back of the black.
You just can't afford to leave him anything at the moment.
1.
It's a tough draw for Stuart Bingham, looking to get his career back on track. Could have asked for a less dangerous opponent than Jack Lisowski, whose career's on the up, although that shot is not.
Let's go back to what I said earlier. He's doing the difficult
4.
stuff so well, and then the straightforward shots. A lot of them he's been very careless. Well, just keeps potting balls.
Thank you. 5.
Flick on the brown would have been handy there. Well, he's potted a great green, but that's the outcome.
8.
The green was tough. Stroked it in as if it was easy.
Thanks. Jack Lisowski 8.
Well, regardless of the fact that break came to an end, he's still looking like a potential winner of this match. that too thick, I think.
Yeah, he's starting to feel it, Stuart Bingham. He's under pressure.
One.
Another lovely shot, made to look very simple. Slow drag shot to control the cue ball, touch a left-hand side. He's got to really concentrate here. This is a big visit to the table. This is to go 3 frames clear.
8. Nine.
Wriggled in. Sometimes that can sharpen your focus when you almost miss something.
Yeah, I think he played it into that side of the pocket to avoid the cannon on the red, but it's looking like a great chance now.
16.
There's not many players in this tournament, and include every single one of them that strikes the ball much better than Jack Lisowski. But there's lots of players that will make less unforced errors. That is the difference, the only difference at the moment that's stopping and becoming a force in the game.
Yeah, he's having a pretty good season, so I assume he's making
24.
less unforced errors than he has done in previous seasons, so his form is on the up. He's maturing quite nicely. At the age of 26, he's got plenty of time on his hands.
25. $31. $32. $39. $40.
I think I'm correct in saying 4
47.
seeds have already dropped in this tournament. Could we be seeing a 5th?
$48.
Not great. Didn't read that one very well. I'd like to ask him what he was trying to do there.
Try and get this pink to the side cushion.
Jack Lisowski, 48.
Glimmer of hope for Stuart Bingham, and he's got an opening pot. Must take it on. beautifully struck, but not nicely on a colour. He hasn't got that many points to play with. Tempted by the blue. The yellow's the easier looking shot
Blue ball.
to pop, but it's 3 points extra, could help him out.
Well, he does have a nickname, Ball Run Bingham.
6,
His fellow pros seem to think he does a lot of this.
7,
And if he was to win the frame this visit, that will hurt Jack Lisowski. Well, he potted the black in the left-hand side of the pocket. That's why he's high in this red. That was a poor shot.
14, 15,
Well, will that pink come to Jack Lisowski's rescue? He didn't get it tight on the cushion, but it's far more awkward than it was.
$22, 23,
Poor positional shot on the black beforehand to leave himself coming down for the black instead of the blue, but and the outcome is he's a little bit out of position now. Really should have been on the
30.
blue off that last red. Big error. He's got to drop this in pretty slowly. Not a nice shot to have. Well, he's played it very well.
32,
So, what does he do with blue to pink? Can he get behind the pink? It's just
35.
firing off the cushion that he may be tempted to do that.
Well, he's looking like he wants lining up for a double in the pink.
It's an option.
I think if he got kind of a half ball angle in the blue to the right middle, he can play off two cushions and try in the pink. Even if he misses the cannon, he's going to have some sort of shot in the pink.
39,
I think that's what he's played. If he plays this at the correct speed, he could promote the pink or just drift past it and leave the long pink into the right corner. Good pace required here. And just snuck in, but he's got the bounce.
44,
Now he's going to try and pop this into the yellow pocket and play the cue ball in and out of balk, I feel. He could try and screw it into the green pocket, but it's more of a blind shot.
Jack Lisowski looks on, hoping that he's going to get reprieve. It was one of those unforced errors that he broke down when he was in. He was in perfect position.
What do you fancy, yellow pocket or green?
Yellow pocket every day.
It's got to be yellow.
Twice on Sundays.
Oh! He just must have caught the bump of the middle pocket
50,
there.
Cut the black in.
Well,
settle down please, thank you.
why not? I don't like cutting the black in from the yellow spot, but from here's acceptable.
He could leave this hanging if he plays it dead weight.
57,
What a clearance
And the
from
frame.
Stuart Bingham. Clenched fists. Huge bit of fortune. He missed the blue by a mile, fluked it in the right middle, and Jack Lisowski will be hurting. Stuart Bingham get back to only 1 frame behind at 7-6.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Frame 14, Stuart Bingham to break.
So Stuart Bingham breaks off in the 14th frame. Very fortunately, only 1 frame behind.
Well, I didn't see Jack look at that pot, but there was no raise of the hand. I don't know whether he felt after the fluke Stuart Bingham had in the previous frame, he wasn't going to apologise.
Well, it was a decent safety effort as well. Obviously, if he'd have missed it, left it over the pocket, Stuart would have had a shot. But he's got a nice angle in this brown to do something with the cue ball. You'd expect him to get this into the middle pocket. Might have overhit it a fraction. Okay, he could take this red on.
5.
Risky shot though.
Yeah, the red is closest to the cue ball.
Yeah.
If that wasn't there,
Yeah.
he'd play this red and screw for the black.
He still might be able to get on it. He's playing with topspin though. Oh, he's read that very well. Beautiful. Superb shot. Well, he criticised his decisions going into the pack a couple of times, but that one he got to perfection.
Yeah, he trusted his read on the pack there
13.
because a lot of players might have really overhit that just to make sure they got the cue ball through the bunch.
He's not come ideally placed on this red. Can he get it out for the black, or does he have to screw back down the table? That wasn't what he
14.
wanted. Just that fractional difference. That half a ball roll, he'd have been perfect position on the black. Now he's sort of betwixt and between. He underscrewed in a way as well. He could have gone down the table further. Unless the blue goes. Nah.
Eighteen. Nineteen.
Great recovery. I thought for 1 second the cue ball was going to go behind that red, but he's okay. I really need to concentrate on that cue ball because he keeps losing it in straightforward shots.
He just got a nudge
26.
on the blue. Looks like pink and blue now go. Makes things a lot easier.
27.
Well, if the blue goes, I think blue into the main bunch is the shot.
Yeah. Not too hard. It's a possible plant on. Oh. So
Well,
blue doesn't go?
If the blue goes, this is the wrong shot for me.
Well, is he worried about tying the blue and pink up again?
Possibly, yeah. That could be the reason.
But if he'd have potted the blue, got a good split on the reds, he could have continued on the black, but he's in prime position
31.
again.
He'd love to win this frame in one visit. He actually hasn't won a frame in one visit since the third frame. He's had some decent breaks, but especially after what happened in the
32.
previous frame, if he didn't win this frame in one score and visit, it would eradicate the memory of losing that last frame.
$37.
Just checking on this plant. It makes it a lot easier to continue the break positionally if that plant does go. He's got to
38.
sort of get out of jail free card whenever he needs it. It does look to be makeable.
$45. $46.
This is very good though, from Jack Lisowski.
53.
You know, questioned one of his weaknesses was possibly his temperament, but again, what happened in the last frame to him, he seems to have forgotten about. He's focused again.
Don't think he's come that well on this plant. Perhaps he can get out for the black and scoot down the table for one of the ball colours.
54.
Such a good potter. It's a great advantage to have. Doesn't mind leaving himself distance between the balls. It's always a
58.
dangerous player.
59.
This has been an excellent break. Okay, he's had to play one or two recovery shots to get back into prime position, but it's never really looked in much doubt since he potted that opening red.
66. 67. $74. 75.
Can he go on and make his third century of this match?
What a tough opening match for Stuart Bingham this has been. Once again, the qualifying section of this tournament
82.
is proving to have sharpened up so many of the qualifiers this
83.
year.
Yeah, you would have to think if Jack keeps improving and keep on the path that he seems to be on, it'll be him that's in the Seeds chair next year.
90. 91.
And the thing about it is that he may be a bit raw in some areas still of the game, although that's being highly critical. The one thing you can't teach is natural talent. He's got that in abundance. The rest of the game you can learn.
98.
It looks like he's doing his apprenticeship wonderfully well now.
98 and the frame.
So
Jack
that
Lisowski.
wonderful break of 98 should eradicate the memory of losing the last frame before the interval. He restores his 2-frame advantage at 8-6.
I think Stuart Bingham's got to hope that Jack Lisowski falters a bit at the finishing line here, Stephen.
Yeah, well, I mean, so far tonight, Stuart Bingham hasn't really got in
15.
first in frames.
Jack Lisowski to break.
So either has to tighten up his safety plate. You can't obviously hope for your opponent to make mistakes. But it's not a game that Stuart Bingham really plays, is tightening up. He wants to get in there quickly, pot all the balls.
Well, whoever loses this match will feel a bit aggrieved that they've played to a pretty decent standard and not got a result. Has he got away with it? Maybe yes. Very thin cut into the middle pocket for Stuart Bingham. Well, doesn't seem to be happy playing with side spin, that inside side spin. I think he's got a new cue, relatively new cue. I don't know how long he's had it, Stephen. I don't know if you kept up on that, but from the World Championship, it does look like a new one.
No.
Didn't think so.
One.
But it looks nice and shiny anyway, doesn't it?
That's a lovely angle. No prizes. I'm guessing what he's going to play here, straight into the pink, full ball, at pace. Could not play it any better.
Beautiful.
Split could have gone better.
Yeah.
6 reds round the black
6.
spot.
What a mess.
Is he even on a pot?
Yeah, he's got a couple, but it might not be a bad shot here to put this red into the right corner and try and shift reds away, screw back for the blue. It's going to be tough to get them all
7.
out of the way for the black, though. And strikes the ball beautifully. Ball's cracking in the back of the pocket.
10.
No real value in playing for the black. Certainly didn't want that.
11.
Misread the positional side of that. Bounced the cue ball into the red.
Always looked on this.
Yeah, it's a misjudgment of understanding how the ball's released from each other's a bit worrying, I suppose, but perhaps he got a wider spread on the cue ball than he thought. The way he's cueing, you fancy him just to slot this in. So, some hope
Jack Lisowski, 11.
for Stuart Bingham. He's not been left anything easy here, but at least he's back at the table. What does he do, though? Looks like containment's about the best he can manage. Those two reds over that pocket are going to be a problem. He's just going to roll onto the red. What do you reckon, Steen? You're happy with the containment shot here? No. Well, you don't like them.
No, there's a time and a place for them.
Oh, right, okay. Not a re-rack. It's hard to know how this is going to resolve itself, really. It's not a guaranteed re-rack, is it? But neither player can afford to take a risk sending the cue ball down the table. More or less obligated to hide on this side, on the right-hand side of the table somehow. Well, there's perhaps an area down by the yellow on the baulk cushion that you could play the cue ball to. Not from this shot, though. There's going to be a lot of tip-tapping around, I feel. Can he use the brown as a snookering ball? Element of bravery in this shot, or an element of madness. You choose. Didn't have to play it at all. Was it too much of a risk? Certainly misjudged the shot, and now Stuart Bingham has a chance. Can he get on the blue?
One.
Struck that so well, but no reward.
A big green to take on.
Thought he'd play the other red, but obviously he didn't fancy it.
He's obviously thinking it's time to tighten things up. He's looking at a safe place for the cue ball. I think if he was 8-6 up instead of 8-6 behind, he'd definitely be taking his green on. Well, he's looking at it again.
Green.
He's playing the safety from the green, I think. He's played it pretty well.
One.
Jack Lisowski can get back down the table. If he caught this red thin, the pink's a big goalkeeper. He spotted a path through the gap in the reds. Oh, what's he playing? Containing safety. Arguably a little bit fortunate. That red's blocked the line into the green pocket for a long straight red there, but nothing wrong with that shot. Would have liked that cue ball on the cushion. It's a tempter now for Stuart Bingham. If it's dead straight, he can try the pot and screw back to the ball, to the top cushion, or even that angle we can see. He can play it as a shot to nothing. Surely he'd be playing it. Could play it into the corner as well, whichever he fancies. But that was the shot.
One.
It's not going to be great putting the black back on the spot. Don't think he can get through to the blue, but even the blue going back on the spot's hampered by the green, so not straightforward.
Eight.
I think Stuart's on the red to left middle, but he's going to have to play at some pace to stun off one cushion for the blue to left corner.
Important moments for Stuart Bingham. He'd love to convert this chance. Well, he's played that probably as well as he could have done. Okay, so it's a very thin cutback on the blue. Can't really guarantee the cue ball, but there's a red over the middle pocket he should be able to get on. Off three cushions. Unless he can play it softer. Three cushions it is. Very nicely played indeed.
14.
Now perhaps the green and blue go.
Well, if you're in the club practicing, I was going to say you come off one cushion into the four reds to the left of the black and leave the black to the right corner. But you're not in the club, you're in the crucible.
He's got the weight of this perfectly.
15.
Be happy with that. Still some headaches in this break to come.
20.
He clears the 2 open reds and got a nice position on the blue. He could perhaps try and open the 4 reds up, but they're not inviting.
$21.
Well, I don't think he'll play it, but he's got an angle on the blue to go into the 2 reds to the left of the black. It's a shot, but I suppose it's a bit risky.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna get a good lead from that. I mean, if he pots blue and then pots the loose red and then gets back up to the position he's in, the pattern of those reds doesn't lend itself to them opening up nicely.
He'd have to play at pace. I mean, if he caught those 2 reds full ball, one will come off the cushion and knock the other ones out of the way.
Yeah. He could play it now, but he may not get a better angle on the blue, though. That's an interesting one. Didn't really see that. He's going to pot this red, and
26.
trouble is he's going to be colliding with the red to the right of it. No guarantee that he can get back up the table. That's a strange choice, that.
Yeah, if he wants to win the frame at this visit, he's going to have to disturb something. You have to have a lot of right-hand side in the cue ball here, you would think. See,
Yeah, that's the
cue
best he
ball-
could do, really. Oh, flick on the green.
27.
Has he promoted the green? Bit lucky.
Yeah, that was lovely, because he was going to be forced with a pressure shot to the far right corner. Now the screen's comfortable to the right middle.
He's lost the cue ball somewhat.
He forgot to put check side on.
Yeah. Feels to me like he's not happy with putting
30.
extreme side on the shots. I don't know how long he's had that cue.
Well, whatever needs to cue this well. I think the black goes to the same pocket, but this does need to be cued. And he did. Fabulous bit of cueing that was.
31.
As you'd expect, putting up a great fight here, Stuart Bingham, previous champion here at the Crucible. Great talent in the game. Not many thought he'd go all the way to this standard, but really forced his way into the elite of the game.
Yeah, I remember when he won the world title, I think almost every round I tipped him to lose, and he ended up winning it. I think before the final he said, please tip me to lose the final.
38.
He put in some monumental performances that year. Really did.
$39.
Now he's back in the game and forced to stay away from it. He's probably on a bit of a mission. So he's got himself prepared for this event as best he can. Obviously he's lost a lot of ground ranking points wise. Can just get through the gap to pop this second red. He's just got to read
44.
the situation nicely now. Does he collide with the black? Can he release the cue ball away from the black? I think it's perhaps a stun shot. He may be able to play it with no stun. Did that very nicely. No.
Foul.
Well, you get some good luck
Stuart Bingham 44.
and you get some bad luck at this game.
Jack Lisowski
A massive
7.
fluke on the blue, but that equally as unlucky. Could never have foreseen that.
Someone must have said something that he didn't like. Like clapped when the black went in or something like that. Sometimes each player's supporters get a bit overexcited when things happen.
Yeah, you just got to forget that. It's, as a snooker player, you deal with those things. You shouldn't let them affect you. That's an irrelevance.
6.
But a great chance for Jack Lisowski to strike back in the fortune department.
Well, this would be monumental
7.
in the match if he could somehow find a clearance here. It was a fabulous break from Stuart Bingham. It really was. The balls were in no position to make a frame-winning chance, but he was developing it.
He's going to need the
14.
pink. Great shot.
15.
Never in doubt, was it? It's always going in the heart of the pocket. Stuart Bingham is just hoping that that pink comes to his rescue. There's obviously some work to do before that. But it doesn't look like Jack's going to miss an easy pot, that's for certain. Just got past the baulk line.
20.
Yeah, that was handy, the brown being off its spot. There's plenty of room there to play in and out of baulk there.
22.
So this is no easy shot. Green to get a nice angle in the brown, to get a nice angle in the blue, to move the pink. So far from easy, this clearance.
As you can see from the scoreline, he
25.
only needs the pink.
Another double.
Wow. He's got to make a decision on trying to get an angle on the blue, but he's always got the double as, I suppose, a saver, but could play the double. It's a bit more difficult from that far down, though.
29.
He looks to have a pretty decent angle. Perhaps he can straighten this shot up with a little bit of right-hand side. He's purred it perfectly.
34.
Wow.
What a big shot coming up.
It's a bit unlucky not to have an easier shot here. It's betwixt and between. It's not that hard.
Well, what a frame to win for Jack Lisowski.
Jack Lisowski.
All the world, Stuart Bingham was going to make it 8-7. A fantastic clearance. Jack Lisowski 1 away from winning and getting to the second round. Well, this was very, very
Keep the
unfortunate.
noise down, please. Thank you.
You thought this was a shot that perhaps was going to win him the frame, just playing. He knew his cannon in the black.
You can't possibly foresee that happening. Although, you know roughly that you're pushing the black towards that corner, but actually one person clapped. It's upsetting, isn't it? Let it go. He's not worth it. Leave him. Leave him. He's not worth it, Stuart. Forget it. Don't keep looking at him. Forget it. You've got a match to play.
Yeah, you want to try playing Jimmy White at the Wembley Conference Centre in front of 2,900 Londoners.
I think even the Scottish players, people were cheering for Jimmy there, Stephen. I don't think anybody wanted you to win there.
Frame 16.
So
Stuart Bingham to break.
Well, with a mountain to climb. Can he win 4 frames in a row? His only hope, possibly, well, one of his main hopes, is that Jack Lisowski fails to get over the winning line. Or perhaps starts to feel the pressure of the winning line. It can happen.
Yeah, and I think if one thing is a marvellous thing to have had in the build-up to this event is 3 best of 19 matches where you have got over the winning line. These qualifiers are not easy, and they can give the players confidence.
We'll see how this frame progresses, but sometimes you got a lead like this. Jack Lisowski, if he doesn't win the match in this frame, that can sometimes put doubt. He's got a shot to nothing here.
Erred on the correct side, played it a bit thin, got that cue ball back down the table, although is there a gap? Stuart just looking, it must be tight. Doesn't look like it. Could make it with side, I suppose, but it went. Bit of fractional side spin there, that was all he needed.
1.
Bit thinner on the blue than he wants, but I expect him to get this. He's missed a couple of cut blues, putting side spin on, but the cue ball's a bit closer to the blue for this one, so should be able to drop this in.
Six.
Black's available to the left corner, so we can play for it here.
Seven.
Must admit, I like Stuart's attitude around the table. He's not sort of dropped his head at all. He still looks very focused. He knows he's still got a chance in this match.
Nicely controlled.
14.
Yeah, you can possibly use what happened to him. If someone in the crowd did make a noise, or laugh or clap, then use it as motivation. Sometimes you can make you even more determined. But
50.
he's under pressure severely now to stay in this World Championship.
$22. 23. 30.
'This would be a nice frame to
31.
win in one visit. Pull a frame back very quickly, and then hopefully get off to a good start in the next. keep your opponent in the chair.
38. $39.
A little bit
46.
fortunate to be on this red. He didn't. That wasn't as played, I don't think. He could easily have slipped behind the red that he's closest to. Again, maybe a slight touch of left-hand side, just to make sure he finished low on the black.
47.
And he'll just screw up past the left edge of the pack, cannon the red to the left of the pink, leave one to the left corner. Oh, the cardinal error.
Stuart
Took his eye
Bingham,
off the pot, concentrating on the cue ball.
One.
Well, a chance Jack Lisowski didn't think he'd get. So, I'm not saying it's a free chance, but he could win it here and now. Not easy, obviously.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see if he can win the match at this visit. This will tell you a lot about Jack Lisowski's temperament.
7. Eight.
Doesn't look to have come ideal on this pink, but enough of an angle. Handy that that red goes in the apex of the 5
14.
reds. Wasn't sure if it did go.
15.
Could have gone up for the blue then to try and split into the reds, but no, I'm not sure how it's going to pan out. Can he screw into the reds? If you'd a bit further over, perhaps that's what he was trying to do. It's come to an ending pretty quickly here.
22.
I think going up for the blue was perhaps the right shot. I don't know.
I think being a left-hander, I think
Yeah.
it was a good call to play for the black, but
Yeah,
it was 2 inches short with the cue ball.
yeah.
Jack
He's
Lisowski.
left a shot to nothing
22.
here for Stuart Bingham to the left corner.
Going up for the blue, if you got the right angle, would have been nice, but you can never guarantee you get perfectly on the blue. Very fast cloth, tough to judge. Has he left this? Tough positional shot. He'll be going for it.
Never in doubt, stripped it in the drag. Beautiful shot.
1.
The black offers the natural angle to stun for the next red. Oh, was that the
Jack
winning
Lisowski,
line?
1.
Did he see it?
Yes, he did. And quite some way out as well.
1.
Now, if you're Stuart Bingham, you're loving that, because that shows you a bit of frailty.
7.
It was such a great opening red as well that he knocked in. He wouldn't have thought he'd have had the trouble with the black.
8.
To be fair to Jack, he's bounced back pretty well tonight from adversity and playing bad shots, things that have gone wrong. But the winning line misses hurt even more.
14. 15.
You never know how the game pans out. There's the possibility always at this level that that's the best chance he's going to get in the match. Stuart Bingham's
21.
job here is to
22.
punish Jack for that mistake as strongly as he can in the next frame and really make him stew.
Yeah, there'll be every chance Stuart Bingham will leave the arena after this frame just to let Jack
28.
suffer even more in his chair.
Yeah.
A tactic that players
30.
like to use.
Properly stewed.
Probably a good thing for Jack to leave as well. If he does
33.
clear his head.
Yeah, all you get is a camera right in your mush, don't you? Just sitting
Yeah,
there
and
pretending
us,
he
and us
doesn't-
talking about him.
Yeah. Get out of the arena, Jack.
37. $42. 48. 55 in the frame.
Well, it's a very high standard. Both these guys are producing. Stuart Bingham hangs on in there. Two behind at 9-7. So, neither player goes to the toilet. Perhaps they don't need to go to the toilet. It's a thought, isn't it? Yeah, you're right.
Keep the noise down, please. Thank you.
Never thought of that one. How often did you go to the toilet when you didn't need to?
Well, as I say, sometimes players use a bit of gamesmanship just to force their players to think about this miss that we're going to see. This black that undoubtedly Jack thought of the winning line. He thought he potted the great long red. All he needs to do is stun the black in. Nothing to do with the cue ball. To be fair, he didn't get close.
No. Not too sure going to the toilet all the time is necessarily the gamesmanship. It can be just to settle yourself as well, you know, just sort of at the end of a frame. But obviously there was a period of time when we were discussing how many times players should
17.
be allowed to go
Jack Lisowski.
out of the room.
When a player wins the frame to force a decider, it's amazing the coincidence. All of a sudden, you know, lots of players all of a sudden need to go before a decider. Well, Stuart Bingham playing a safety shot off the pack of reds. So be careful not to catch this thick. Easy to do from tight under the baulk cushion. That's why it looks like he's playing your favourite shot, Steve.
Well, that's two players out of the four that are watching this game who've chosen that one. Come on, talk us through that one.
Well, his opponent, I'll be devil's advocate. His opponent won for him for victory. Well, has he left a shot? Has he left a pot? I'm going to say, suppose he doesn't want to let his opponent have any sniff at a pot.
Yeah. There was somebody on Twitter contacted me to say that so often on the break-off shot, players leave an opportunity. Is it the right shot to play? But just to play the normal break-off. Excellent pot from Stuart Bingham. He's got the reward.
1.
And he should be able to manufacture a position to open this pack of reds now. With that red over the pocket, he should get the perfect angle on the blue. What's he looking at? Is he looking at a plant in the pack? That would stop him from going in with pace.
I mean, there is a way you could even go into the pack from the red in the middle. If you hit the meat of the pack, you'd be unlucky not to be in pink or black.
Yeah, there's a possibility. I don't think he's playing it, but
there is a red at the bottom of the pack that also goes.
Yeah.
If it finishes low in that, you can open some reds up. He's got options here.
3. 4.
That shot tells me he is going to play. Now, has he got an angle? He could follow through of 2 cushions, top spin, right hand side, into the pack. Nope, he's playing for the single red.
the trouble is, if you come badly on this red and you leave yourself on the black badly, then I'd rather going off the blue, wouldn't you?
I thought he was perfect there.
Yeah.
So I think it's a great way to go into the pack. You very rarely see it played 2 cushions.
Okay, so
10.
No, he's got a nice angle.
Left hand
Nothing
side
wrong with this, but
of the 2 reds.
you don't want to screw and stick in the pack. Well, I prefer the blue.
17.
Has he got a lead there? Looks like he may well have. Oh, he got a bonus with the plant.
18.
Wow. That is a massive bonus. It's 9 a fluke.
Yeah, we see Jack Lisowski. He's starting to look uncomfortable for the first time tonight, you have to say.
Well, regardless of the
25.
ifs and buts of blue or black for smashing the pack up, this is an excellent
26.
response from Stuart Bingham. He looks really, really controlled, really focused on the job in hand. He's making as good a fist of it as he can possibly do. What a great match this has been. Fantastic session of snooker.
33. $34.
Wrong-sided on the pink, so forced to leave a bit more distance between
40.
cue ball and red. He has choices of reds. And the way he's cueing at the moment, you would expect him to knock this in.
$41. Quietly, please. $48.
It seems like
49.
being 1 frame away from defeat has really focused the mind of Stuart Bingham. Okay, he missed that black off a spot in the last frame, but looks to have found the right time to start playing his best snooker. Timing the ball superbly well, doesn't look like missing.
56.
He really has matured into a great competitor, a complete fighter. Great break builder as well. Period of time in his game, he looked like he was going nowhere in the game. That dreaded word, the journeyman snooker player, but forced his way into the elite of the game.
Well, they built him up, and he absolutely butchers that red with the rest.
56.
Okay, Jack Lisowski comes to the table. Not really a chance.
Long way out now.
possibly a safety shot off the red that's near that right corner pocket. White ball up near the green pocket. Looks like he's taking a pot on here.
Got a pretty poor contact on that red. Didn't sound great. Might have got enough of a kick to make the red go thick.
One.
Stuart Bingham finds the pot that Jack couldn't.
Stuart Bingham, 1.
Not going to be easy to keep this safe. Well, trusting to luck. May have got a bit. It's a thin cut. Spread the reds open. It was going to be difficult to get lucky by opening the reds all over the place, but it's a possibility he can miss this thin cut. Then
Doesn't he get a kick?
Yeah, he could get a kick, yeah.
One. Five.
So this red to left middle. Wow, I did not see that coming.
Stuart Bingham, 5.
Yeah, I think that, I don't know how long he's had the cue. I think the cue pushes off more than his normal cue, the cue he's played before with side spin.
And look where he put the red that he missed. That's horrible.
That was a big mistake. Big misjudgment to miss by that far. Putting a bit of outside side spin on. Okay. Bit of insurance with the yellow safe, but should never have been the case. Should have been racking the balls up by now.
Seven. Eight.
It's going to be tough for Jack Lisowski to win this frame. That black tied up. Stuart Bingham was very fortunate when he missed that red in the middle for the red to end up there next to the black.
Obviously he'd love to make a clearance, but he doesn't have to win it in one visit. There's the possibility if he was to, probably would never consider going about this way, but snooker off the last red is a 2 pinks and snooker off the last red is an option. Don't think it's necessarily the right way.
14.
Definitely going to be trying to break it out, but
Even you could red and get on the pink in some way to leave the cue ball on this black cushion. Play a snooker then.
yeah.
15.
Try and get the cue ball behind the red and black.
Yeah, but I don't know if you'd be thinking that way. So far, so good. Needs to get on a colour though.
21. 22.
This needs to travel.
Made a bit of a... I think he's playing for the blue, he's made a big error, but he was playing for the pink, just a bit short of pace, so he's got enough points in the bag if he gets this pink in. Big shot.
What a shot. What a shot. He had to screw up the side cushion there. He's very unlucky to leave the cue ball tight, the top cushion here.
Is he going to risk playing a massage shot
28.
up in the air, very high? He's got to hit this centrally, otherwise the cue ball's going to skew off. That was the trouble. Bit of a bounce as well. Has he got
Jack
a reserve
Lisowski.
snooker behind the green?
28.
Bit of luck there. He's feeling his shoulder there. He's pulled a muscle going up in the air too hard. Well, Stuart's only got himself to blame for not finishing this frame off earlier. So a bit of luck for Jack Lisowski in snookering in behind the green. Well, once again, he's put side spin on,
Foul.
and it's pushed the cue off
miss.
line, cue ball off line. He's
Free
not
ball.
happy with side spin with this cue,
Jack Lisowski, 7.
in my opinion. Free ball, full house. Got a free pink into the yellow pocket.
What if he hits the pink straight off the cushion, take the yellow off, screw the cue ball back to this cushion, snooker him behind the green?
Well, get the yellow out. Where's the pink go though? Wants to get the pink out as well.
He has to pot the pink. I can't believe he even said that. He has to pot the pink. Good shot. Did I actually say to refuse that pink there?
I think we can wipe that off the
One.
tape. Wow. It's only the yellow saving him at the moment, Stuart Bingham. You fancy the way Jack Lisowski can mop the balls up, that it's only a misjudgment of positional play.
I wonder if he'll play the yellow right-handed.
Surely not.
8. Nine.
Doesn't look to be good. But as long as he pots a colour, even if he's not ideally placed, he can play a decent safety shot. He may have an angle on the brown. I don't think so though, not enough. Can play a decent safety.
Yes, a test of patience here. Is he
Yeah.
patient enough to wait for another chance?
Well, I think he's not on. He's not on any of the colours in such a way he can even be tempted to play a positional shot on the yellow. So he's just got to play a positional shot for a good safety. It's tempting to try and get the cue ball in behind the black. Okay, you don't get the yellow safe. Don't think the double's the correct shot to play here, but you never know.
13.
He didn't risk leaving the yellow in open play. He's played a
Jack
decent
Lisowski,
safety
13.
shot behind the green. Not too sure it's exactly how he played it, but now it's given Stuart Bingham a massive problem. He's got to get this yellow safe. Chance for a place in the second round. Can he hold himself together? The biggest shots of his career so far.
One good positional shot here.
That's a perfect shot, I think.
2.
Just.
Oh, he'll be feeling it inside at the moment, Jack Lisowski.
Make no mistake, this is a massive scalp for
5.
Jack Lisowski. He's not ideal on the brown. He's got some work to do to get up for the blue. But he's such a good cueist. Right in the heart of the pocket. And
9.
great position on the blue. That's superb. That may have won him this match.
I'll tell you what, he's going to be a challenge for anybody in this half
14.
of the draw.
He's
20.
taken these very calmly. Just this black for a place in the second round. And there goes. Jack Lisowski puts paid to Stuart Bingham. He must be delighted.
Well played, Jack. Well done. Quiet if you can, please. Thank you.